on your site, you've had recently some discussion threads about serious questions that people have, questions that are hard.
Yeah.
People talk about wrestling with their faith and dealing with addictions in their families. And I wondered if you'd have a chance to just ask Sister Beck some of those questions.
Yeah, though I think overwhelmingly I get at least once or twice a week an email from somebody referencing the talk you gave at Women's Conference where you stopped and promptly started saying, fight, 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 sisters, fight. I still get goosebumps when I think about that. And their question always then ties into how do we fight in practical terms pornography? How do we fight it? You know, the prophets and apostles have said, keep the plague out of your home. But what do you do when you find that plague in your home? Because our natural response is to fight or flight. And sometimes the natural man's way of fighting is to be controlling and to put all the barriers down and woe is me and I'm the ruler. And that's not conducive to a marital relationship or a parent-child relationship. So fight, fight, fight. How in practical terms?
Well, first of all, we need to know that we are in a battle with this. Last conference, President Packer said we are raising our children in enemy territory. So the battle lines are drawn. We can be passive and be overrun, or we can say, I'm going to take action and be assertive. There are strategies. I believe that the war chapters in the Book of Mormon provide strategies for us in the battles we're in today.
I had not thought of that before, but that is true.
Sometimes we read through the Book of Mormon and say, well, I'll skip those chapters. That's all about war. Well, excuse me, isn't that what we're in?
Yeah.
We're battling a deceitful and a determined enemy.
Yeah.
So Moroni, this is in Alma 48. I love Moroni. Here he was. He was a peaceable man. He didn't want to be in a battle. And he was fighting against a really bad guy. So he came up with a simple strategy, which applies to all of us. The first is, this is Alma 48, verse 7. He said, I'm going to deal with this deceitful enemy who's gaining power by fraud and deceit, by preparing the minds of the people to be faithful to the Lord their God. That is a battle strategy.
Yeah.
And we don't think about that. So we think of being combative or shrill or brash. But think of the power in preparing minds to be faithful. If you read back to Jacob chapter 3, when he says, those that are firm in your mind, you're going to be all right. I'll plead your battles for you. In fact, I'll read it for you. I love this from Jacob chapter 3. Verse 1, behold, I would speak unto you that are pure in heart. Look unto God with firmness of mind, and pray unto him with exceeding faith, and he will console you in your afflictions, and he will plead your cause and send down justice upon those who seek your destruction. All you that are pure in heart, lift up your heads and receive the pleasing word of God, and feast upon his love, for you may, if your minds are firm. Forever. So you think of Moroni knew those words, or Mormon, Captain Moroni, sorry. He knew Jacob. And he said, my first strategy is going to be to prepare minds to be faithful. If we don't have that, we don't have anything. There's no foundation. So that's a great strategy. Second one, he said he was going to strengthen the armies by erecting small forts or places of resort. Our small forts are our homes. So then you read later, well, they did layers of defense and walls. And what does that look like at our home?
Family home evening.
And the picket fences and, is it mealtime? And is it guards on the internet? And what are the things we do? And then we don't lower the drawbridge and invite the enemy in through various means. So he set guards on the towers, and so he had small forts and places they could go that were safe.
Right.
And our places of resort are our wards. They should also be safe places, and we help contribute to the defense of that ward. When we teach, when we serve, when we go visiting teaching or home teaching or teach a primary child or serve in some way, we're making that a safe place. But what is our defense going to be in our home? We are in charge of that.
As mothers.
As mothers. We lead that. So fight, well, I've got to there are some things. I'll start with this, and then when I get that layer done, I'll do another layer, and then I'll do another layer, and you start somewhere. He had to start with cities they were falling apart. Mm-hmm. And then the third strategy was, in their weakest fortifications, he placed a greater number of men. So that means there was some prioritizing. He couldn't do everything all at once. Mm-hmm. But he knew where his weak spots were, and so let's go to that and work on that, and then go to the next weak spot. These are great strategies.